Hey everyone, looks like we are live. We made it to yet another Wednesday. How's everybody doing? Great to see everyone. So this is going to be a very interesting class live stream. We're going to work on how I make my custom stencils from my line drawing. I'm not going to go too much into detail, but I will inspire you, and I think that would be fantastic. So we're looking into that. We're going to use the program called Krita. I don't know if anyone knows me, who's ever studied with me, know that's a pretty important program. So we're going to go over that, and that's going to be a lot of fun. And let's see who we have today. We have Mr. Dan all the way from Indiana. Great to see you. We have Patty, the redhead artist. We have from Illinois. Great to see you, Patty. Kyle, all the way from Pennsylvania. Great to see you, sir. Mr. Dwayne Marshall, all the way from San Luis Obispo. Go Mustangs, not banana slugs. We have Rick Lotto, all the way from Canada. How are you today? Great to see you. We have Lady Charlie, aka Colette, all the way from the Atlanta area. Great to see you. So this is exciting. I'm really happy to see you guys. And let's see who else we have. That's it for now, but that's great. And everyone is here. Let's see who else. I think that's everybody so far, but what a great group. It's not quantity, it's quality, and that's what we have today in everyone. So you're gonna help me out and let me know if you can still hear me when I go to this screen. Let's see. Uh, that's not it. Here we go. Can you guys still hear me now as I am in this screen? Let me know. And let me know you guys can hear me. That would be great if you could. So give me a shout out that you could hear me. Audio's good. Great. Okay, so we're in good shape. So great group we have here. Hey Ryan, how you doing? How's it going? All the way from Canada. Great to see you, Ryan. How's everything, my friend? So glad you're here. So I'm going to zoom in, and as you can see, you can see that I have my my line drawing that I did, and I'll even show you, let me see. Nope, I'm not going to show you the reference. You don't really need to show the reference, but this is the piano player, Khatia. She's amazing. She's from Europe, and I'm going to see her hopefully this spring. And one of her uh, her recitals, or I'm sure how it is. But I will be seeing hopefully her this spring in New York City at Carnegie Hall. So I'm hopeful for that. So let's see. And so now we'll go to this screen and you all can hear me. So as you can see here, I have my line drawing. And so since I have my line drawing, now I'm able to go ahead and make my stencils, which I'll be using for airbrush. I'll also be doing paintbrush techniques, but the airbrush is wonderful to kind of map out large areas. And then I'll be using paintbrush techniques with acrylic, and also I will be using the airbrush with the Wicked Colors by Createx. And so, yes, Patty says hit the like button. I appreciate that. Ah, thank you. Yeah, she's very amazing, very beautiful and talented, Khatia. She is. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I'm going to actually map out my. Hey, Mr. Bobby and Mr. Astral, how you guys doing? Bobby from Cape Cod, Astral from the UK. Great to see you all. So glad to see you. So the program I'm using is Krita, and what I'm going to do is I am going to actually get rid of everything that is everything that's inside, because I just want to do the stencil, which is her silhouette, right? So that's what I'm going to do now. So I have to make sure I'm in the right layer, and this layer here I am. So the first thing is I have my line drawing right here, right? So when I have my line drawing, I need to duplicate it, and I need to call that silhouette. So I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go to duplicate layer or mask, and then I'll call this silhouette. If I spell it wrong, what are you going to do? Okay, so we have silhouette. Now I want to make sure I have my line drawing locked and turned off. And now what I can do is my line drawing is turned off and this is turned on. And now I could go ahead and start erasing everything I don't need. Now what I'm going to use is I'm going to use the Cameo 4. You could use the Cricut. You could use another kind of plotter. And that plotter will help you to cut the Mylar stencils so you can spray through it. I'll make one for the hair. I'll make one for the eyes, nose, and mouth. Krita, yes. Krita is the best thing since sliced bread. It's 100 times better than Photoshop. I dare anyone to tell me otherwise or show me otherwise. I'll go head to head and make you cry. Thank you, Bobby. I appreciate that. People say, Tim, you have really strong opinions about art. I've been doing it long enough to have those strong opinions. If you don't have strong opinions after doing it as long as I do, something wrong. Okay, so now watch when I turn off the back drawing. You see how I'm creating that silhouette, right? Getting rid of everything that's underneath, everything that's not needed. Now the trick is like when you're putting it through the plotter, you have to get rid of everything that is not the contour. And if you don't do that, then you're going to have the cutter's going to be like, oh, you want to cut here, you want me to cut there. So you have to be very literal. No room for error. Let's see what kind of. So we got 12 people on right now, not bad. Let's hit for 20. So if anyone can go ahead and, share this, I want to hit 20 concurrent viewers, because you know what? This is something that you're not going to get anywhere else. That's for sure. If I get 20, I won't go ahead and make this just for members. after this live stream is over. If I hit 20, then it's going to be open for everybody, so you could look at it later. So go ahead and like and subscribe. I did this once before, Mr. Dan, years ago. I usually like to keep this close to the vest, but this is kind of like thank you for you guys supporting. I'll give you something that is extremely valuable. Okay, watch twice as hard. That's definitely good. Mr. Roy, all the way from New Jersey, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Mr. Michael McClung, how's it going? All the way from Maryland. Great to see you as well. Thank you so much there, Mr. Ryan. As you can see, I'm blowing up. I blew it up, so I'm basically looking to get that silhouette, right? That's very important. I'll probably make out of my line drawing maybe about 5 different stencils that will help me throughout the painting, mostly in the beginning of the painting. It's just, the stencils just lay out the large shapes, and Mr. Leahy could definitely concur with that, you know. Now I'm just getting the big shapes, and then I'll be getting the small shapes after this. And then you have to, hey Adam, how's it going? Great to see you, sir. Thank you so much for hanging out. So we got up to 15 concurrent viewers. So all I need is 20. So go ahead, guys, and share it on Facebook right now. Share it on Instagram. What I'm going to do, if this goes up to 20 concurrent viewers, I am going to keep this on. If not, I'm just going to make it private for the members only. So go ahead and share it. And this way it'll stay up there. And you'll be able to view this. You'll see my layers over here. You can ask me questions as I'm doing this. Yeah, now's a good time to ask questions. And I'm going to be very forthcoming with you guys. So great to see you there, Mr. Adam. Where are you from, sir? Now, the great thing with Critter is that you can blow it up and you can get rid of the finest lines. You can go really, I can blow it up and go to the pixel size. See that? Which is great. Go all the way down and just nail that pixel. See that? I can go down to the pixel. West Virginia, nice to meet you there, sir. Great state of West Virginia. That's so great. Now, when you're working on this, when you are, let's say you have to close this out and come back, as long as you save it, you can pick up right where you left off. So you can do this over a course of a week, and you could, you know, be as slow as possible. I've been doing this at least several times a week since 2019, so I got pretty good at it, and fast. And so you see how I'm basically getting rid of all those sketchy lines here. You're going to be surprised how fast I have my stencil ready. Now notice I'm getting off all these little things because the vinyl cutter or plotter is going to pick that up, is going to make those cuts, and you don't want that to happen. So let's see. So we had 15 concurrent viewers, which is good. I'll tell you what, Michael, great question. Great. If you don't do this, you're going to need a lot more patience down the line. So this is something, if you ever want to learn this, Michael, you let me know. It's not as tedious as it looks. What's more tedious is really, having to, uh, get things perfect. And this helps you to map it out really quickly and precise. Thank you, Bobby. Yes, so Bobby is a testimony that it is easier than you think. And this is really quick. I mean, this is not this is not a slow project. This is really fast. So I'm getting rid of everything on the inside because I already have my line drawing saved on another layer. It's actually that layer is actually saved over there, but it is off and locked, so I don't mess that layer. And I made this new layer. I don't use Cricut. I use, great question, Ryan. I use the Cameo 4 at this point, soon to be upgrading, but we'll see. God willing, I can upgrade. And you see how I could go right in to the pixel layer, the pixel level, and I can clean that up beautifully. Dwayne says he's been doing this for several years. He just uses Inkscape. Once you do a dozen times, it's so true. Once you master the program and you have your own workflow, it gets a lot easier. Plus, once you know how to do it, you won't go back. I mean, you may do different techniques, but as far as an airbrush artist, this cuts down your workflow a lot because the Cameo 4 is doing the cutting for you. Oh, you're welcome, Dan. All right. And you see how I'm cleaning up these lines. Now, I'm getting rid of all the sketchiness on the inside. Then I have to decide, what my outside contours are going to be because that's quite important as well. Yes, cutting it by hand can be very time consuming and not very accurate often. Mr. Tone, how are you, sir? All the way from Brooklyn. Great to see you, sir. How you been, my friend? So I'm just doing the silhouette of her. So I'm going to close this off here. I just want her silhouette. And I'm using the eraser mode right now. Oh, look at that. Bobby has both the Cricut and the Cameo 4. And Dwayne says, also, once you do this and save the files, you can cut as many. That's so true. You can cut as many and go ahead and make other versions of it. Send them to somebody. If they ever want to do the same project, they can. Now I can go on from far away, and then I could zoom in, make my brush really small. And watch that. I can just kill that, even though it's so small. I can zoom out again, and I see I have this one. Oh, cool. You were given a cricket. That's nice. I don't got anyone buying me crickets. You're doing something right there, Mr. Dwayne. And since the Cameo 4, the Cricut, other vinyl cutters, they're very literal, right? Very literal. So if you see that little space, you see that? If I don't do that, it's not going to say, oh, you want to cut that? Nope, it's going to stop right there. And then you're going to have to go ahead and adjust for that. And then right here as well. See how exact we can get. Same thing here. Now we're looking at this here. I don't need, let's see if I can get rid of this here. Oh, you see that? So I'm going to turn that off and lock it, and this way we're not dealing with the actual border. So you see this layer right here. This is our border layer. So it says paint layer 1. So I'll unlock it and I'll make it border. And now I'll lock it again, turn the eyeball off. And let's go back to our silhouette layer. So, you know, with these programs, you have to learn about layers. It's very important. Yeah, a lot of people have said that, you know, the Cricut software is really rough compared to the software used for the Cameo 4. Astral says you won't regret it and make your own free stencils too. Yes, Bobby, that's true. And what did Astral say? He hates cutting stencils. He has to buy a silhouette if it's the last thing he does. Yeah, you really should. And you get them, the Silhouette 4s are now not the latest model, but the latest models are not really that much of an upgrade. So right now is a good time to get a Silhouette 4. Dwayne says he does stuff for businesses, and if he really helps to do stuff over and over even years later. So true. Michael says he does have a Cameo 4 and needs to get back and play with it some more. Yes, any pointers you need, you let me know, my friend. And if you guys like this kind of content, let me know, because I think this content is really going to help you. So you see how I have my silhouette. Now I just have to go ahead and fix it and look for any spaces and make sure it's one clean contour. Yes, the 12. Well, I have 12 inches, but you can go, you know, probably you can do 11 by 14 or something like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is look for, see that gap there? That's no good. So let me make my brush really small. And let's fix this. And let's connect it. Okay. I can always sense when the brush is off. So I like putting at 2.78. And see that right there? That's a little dot. If I don't fix that, it's going to say, oh, you want me to cut that little dot? So you got to be careful. Dwayne says he's really not fond of his Cricut. He does most of what he needs as easy on the Cameo. Very interesting. And so Bobby loves the Cameo. Dan says he has a brother scan and cut, but couldn't figure it out to use it. Then bought the Cricut. Cool, you know? Let's see. I think I'm going to do some fixing up here, right here. So I turn on my original, what I'm working on. And basically, what I'm going to do now is check and see what would be the best contour. And once again, come here and do my 2.78. Still have the eraser on. And that will go off the eraser. Now I have the line drawing, so this is not the line drawing. So this is a much less detail. What I'm really trying to do is just get the overall contour here. So I'll go back to my eraser. So what I'll do is, like I said, I have the line drawing for this, so I don't have to get too crazy. And then I could just get the overall contour. He even has the markers for the Cameo also in the cutting tools. That's great. Cameo can come 24 inches as long as you want. Yes, that's true. Yeah, I have a friend who used the Brother, and he wasn't too happy with it either. I think it was a good concept, but just didn't happen. Okay, so I can zoom out. As you can see, I can hit 4, 5, or 6. I can change the orientation so it feels better. Go back to 2.78. And it's going to take you a while to get to this level of it, but that's like anything else, you know, it's a challenge. When I first opened up Krita back in 2019, maybe 2018, and there was no documentation, there were no YouTube videos on it, and I just winged it for a year. So you see how I'm looking for clean cuts? I'm looking for any, looks like I just cleaned that up pretty nice. Now, it doesn't mean I don't have some messy areas down here, but it looks good. And now I'll turn this off, and now I can go back to my eraser. And I'm getting rid of all the impurities. "16 concurrent viewers, that's pretty good. So we're getting close to 20. But I think this content is really amazing. Michael says, he has the markers. And Michael also says, so when you're doing a photo, you let the loose hairs left out. Yes, the loose hairs are what you see in the line drawing, but I don't have them in the stencils. And those I paint. This is really just to map everything out, you know, Michael? And then you do the, you do the hard stuff after. And now I'm zoomed in, so I'm looking for any kind of little weird brush errant parent pencil lines. I'm also looking for any gaps. If I see a gap, I'm going to have to see here. That's a perfect example of a gap. And now I'll go back. And I'll make this 2.78. Hey, Thunder, how's it going? This is the Cameo 4. And so they're on your wish list. Oh, great, man. So it's great to see you. Thunder is uh, my friend from New York. Great to see you. Now I'm going back to our eraser. Whoop, I'm still in eraser mode. Raul, always a pleasure, my friend. Had a little memory lapse there. What you working on now, my friend? Very talented artist over there. 18 concurrent viewers, guys. We're getting there. And you see, as I'm zooming in, I'm finding a lot of areas. So Dwayne said he started with Inkscape, but there are tons of tutorials on YouTube. Inkscape is also free. That's a great program. It's a vector program, right, sir? See all these little things that can come back to haunt us? Oh, wow. For Aston Martin, really? That's amazing, my friend. From that company? That is huge. Congratulations. I'm so happy to hear that. Hey, Mr. Todd, how's it going all the way from San Diego? Great to see you, my friend. Now, I'm just looking at all the detail here, seeing if there's any little errant lines, any spaces. Wow, that is amazing. Painting their D85 from Bond. That's incredible. Design and Vector, which is Inkscape. That's cool. Now let's see. Going to zoom out here. Now see, I can turn around using 4, 5, and 6. 6 goes clockwise, 4 goes counterclockwise, 5 is front and center. Look how clean that is. You see how clean that is? That's going to be a clean cut in the Silhouette software. Absolutely clean. Now we can look for, some weird shapes here as we go. But that was a little bit, about a half hour. And now I have a stencil. So that's pretty good. Mr. Bobby, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. I really appreciate that. Thank you, sir. And we are back up to 18 concurrent viewers, which that is making me happy. And that's great. And hit the like button if you guys can. Bobby, thanks for being such a great friend and a supporter of the channel. Always a pleasure to work with you. And look how clean that is. Now, what I'm going to do is, now I'm going to put that behind. I'm going to lower this, put that underneath my line drawing. And watch when I turn on the border. So when I turn on the border, you'll see I'll have that border of the painting. So I'm going to keep this on so when it cuts, it fits right inside that border, which is really nice, Okay, so now you can see I have my border. So I'm going to go ahead and save it. So I go here, File, and then I go to Save As. Now this we're just going to do as the silhouette. And we're going to call this, we're going to save it as a JPEG, right? And then what we're going to do is we're going to call this line drawing. No, silhouette. Okay, so now we have it as our silhouette. Now what we can do, just show you actually, let's go to the next stencil first, and then we can continue down the line, you know. So that was great. And so we learned a lot from there. And what we'll do is we will turn this off. And now we'll go back to our line drawing, turn it on. We're going to unlock it. And so we want to make another stencil out of this. And what I'll do is I'm just going to right click it, and then I'll go to duplicate, layer a mask, and now I have two. So once again, we want to make sure we turn off the original line drawing and lock it, lock silhouette, because we don't want to use that, turn that off. And we could leave the border layer on for now. So now we have the full silhouette. Maybe we could work on just her dress, right? That could be the next. Wow, Mr. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. That is absolutely wonderful. And we have 19 concurrent viewers, just one more. That is great. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Thank you, Bobby. You guys are amazing, really helping out the channel. And so I think you guys love this content, you know, just showing you some of the dark arts, so to speak, but dark only in the, you know, not dark really, but sort of like stuff that isn't really shared out there in the world. And I wanted to share that with you. So Michael, thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate your friendship and your support. Astral says he's chatting with his son right now. He accidentally deleted his project files and struggled to get them back. Do you have a backup drive, Tim? Yes, definitely. So I save it to the cloud, and I save it on my my Google so I can pull it up anywhere. It's true, you know, you always have to have a backup, right, my friend? So true, Astral. And let's see. So now what I want to do. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. So now we're going to do, so you got to make sure you're in the copy of the line drawing. I'm going to right click it, and I'm going to call this dress only. A beautiful blue dress. And I make sure that's the only one that we're working on. Yeah, magic tricks. So true, my friend. So we want to see where we're working now. So we're going to turn back on our reference image, and we're going to go back to the way we were before. So we are going to go ahead and get rid of everything we don't need. So I have my eraser. I'm going to make it big, and we're going to get rid of everything we don't need right now. And again, if we're doing the stencil, we don't need any detail in the middle because we have that line drawing. 21 concurrent viewers. This is staying on the channel. So, you know, it's going to be there. You guys can reference it. You can, when you do your own, you could ask questions. Critter is free. You can download that at critter.org. Make sure you get the free version, not the one. You can actually get it for free. So don't get it from Windows. That's the thing. So I can't believe it. 21 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. You know, thank you all. That tells me that you guys are happy I'm back. Remember, I went away for a couple of months, and so I'm glad to hear. Oh man. So don't worry. This is going to be It's not going into members only. This is going to be up there, so you can check it out whenever you want. Just go on to my YouTube channel, and so that's great. So thank you, everybody, for spreading the word on this. So now I'm getting rid of everything that isn't her dress. All this. So this is the piano that we see in front of her. And we're just getting rid of it. Yes, you are. That is so great, Dwayne. You know, good friends. It's great to see you. Now, you see, I can't erase the border, right? The border layer I can't erase. And let's erase this over here. Okay, now let's get rid of this. We don't need that. And I'll show you what I have left. Even the stuff that's inside. So when you're doing these, if you have like a hole, like hair or something, thanks. We really missed you, Dwayne. And so you can see if there's a hole, it's just going to cut out a hole. It's not going to have a shape. So you have to pretty much just have solid objects for this to work. So now I'm going to zoom in. I'm going to get rid of the shadow because the shadow is not part of the dress. The cast shadow here. Oh, you hear that? That's fantastic. Thanks, Bobby. Bobby is, one of my students, and so he is offering help to Ryan. That's amazing. Thank you, sir. And we're in the dress only. Now, what's interesting, let me see what's happening here. So we're in dress only. And oh, there we go. We turned it back on. So when the eyeball's off, see the eyeball accidentally went off, and it's good because when that happens, it won't allow you to actually work in that particular uh, level layer. And Patty says, does Critter work on Mac? Yes, you can get it on Mac as well. Ah, thank you. Dwayne says he was using some of my sepia inks the other day, and oh, that's right, definitely. And they're still working. I still owe some people the black inks, and I have to get that, and I'm going to be working on that hopefully this week. I have a few more days off from the part-time job. Oh, a line on her chin. Thank you for that. That's a good eye there, Mr. Michael. Thank you. Yes, you have to have a good eye for this. So true, Michael. Oh, cool. Yes. Critter.org. And you can download it from Mac. And spread the word on that because they're doing it totally for free, which is amazing. Yeah, and you also can use Procreate on your. You could use that on your iPad, which is great, and it works just as well. You can get Krita for your tablet, but I don't recommend it. You know, for like you for no, you get it for Samsung. So it's good for Android if you want it on your tablet, but I don't recommend it for your tablet. Definitely either, work with Procreate, that's not Krita, and you can do the same thing I'm doing here. Just learn how to translate it to Procreate. And you see this line in here? You have to get rid of it because we just want solid shapes. And once I turn off the photo, you can see what the cleaning we have to do. Oh, very cool. Old-timey photorealistic looks. Yes, definitely. And oh, cool. Yeah, silhouette, right? I mean, sepia really gives it that look, right, Bobby? Let's zoom out. Okay. So now I think we're at the point where we could really hone in on this. So I'm going to turn the eyeball off of my reference photo. And now you can see all the work we need to do, getting rid of everything on the inside. This is just going to be for painting. It's just going to be, painting, the general blue in there to get that blocked in. And then you have a lot of work to do afterwards. And let's see. Bobby says he's not good enough for that yet. Oh, I don't think so. I think you're pretty good there, Bobby. Astral says he uses Critter. It's great and use it in his old Wacom. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, those Wacoms are Wacoms, Wacom, Tomato, Tomato. Those are great. And Patty says I have to call it a night. Patty, have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging. I appreciate you. Let me know if you have any critic questions. Sounds kind of funny, critic question. Now you see it's going to be two pieces here when we cut this out. Let me get rid of all the internals here. All the folds you don't need, they're on the line drawing. Now we'll come in and get more specific. We're just getting rid of the broad strokes here. Ryan says, sorry, Tim, I got a bolt too. I have to catch the end later. Ah, great to see you. Thank you so much for spreading the word. I appreciate that. I always like to master free programs first because those are the ones where, they're doing it out of the love of it. And I always like to support the underdogs. Still 18 concurrent viewers going on. So this is a very, very successful live stream, I would say. What do you all think? Now let's turn on the image here and we could see that we have to connect this. So we'll get rid of this here. We don't need this because that's a fold. We have that in the live stream, right? So no worries there. But let's get rid of the cast shadow here. But you see how fast it goes once you get in the whole thing, Patty says good night. Uh, he says he has to leave you all too. Have been recovering from a bad attack of ocular migraine. Take care, Mr. Astral. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for hanging out, my friend. Hope to see you next week, God willing. See, we're getting rid of that cast shadow. Oh, great! That's fantastic on the big screen. Uh, Dwayne says he likes them too. Plus, open source has tons of extensions. So true, my friend. See all this right here, her cleavage. We'll just get rid of that. And now you see we can kind of clean it up where we see it. And so this is not dress here. So we're just going to cut this out. And now we'll go back to our airbrush. Go up to here, 2.78. Come down and connect it. Hit Control 7 or Command 7 if you make a mistake. Had to put the new power supply in the computer. Oh man. Yeah, everyone started losing power on Friday in our group class. Now, so now I think I have everything really done well. And now we get into specifics, right? So what we'll do is turn off the image. And now we just have this to clean up. This stencil is going to have two pieces, two holes, I should say. Let's go back to our eraser. Ah, thank God. Thank God the power's good. So I wasn't sure, I wasn't ready, I did the line drawing, but I wasn't ready for the stencils. And then I was driving home tonight, I was like, well, why don't I do the stencils on the live stream? This way people could, get inspired and have a new way to get precise block-ins with in your painting. So I was like, wow, I think people would love that. So I decided to do it. And of course, next week we're going to do the block in, and I think we're going to use candies. Candy 2.0. I have a nice piece of aluminum that I primed with Waterborne Sealer 6000 by Createx, and thank you to Mr. Steve Leahy for giving me the inspiration for the Waterborne Sealer 6000. Now we'll turn that off, 2.87, 2.78, and go ahead and connect this line here. You can get really precise if you blow this up. That's the beauty. You don't have that if you're cutting. Okay. Right now I'm just going to look for any holes, and then I'll come back for, maybe I'll zoom out a little bit. Okay. So I see some. We'll come back to, whoop, Control Z. So I'm looking for any gaps, right? So I'm holding down Shift, and when you hold down Shift and then push with your cursor on the surface, you'll see that, so no gaps, right? So I have a very clean image. So right now it's going to cut really beautiful shapes for me. So now we're going to go back to our eraser, and we're going to look for little areas that the Cameo 4 might say, oh, you want to cut here. And we're like, no, don't cut there. And now we're just looking for any messy areas. Now, in case you're wondering what I'm doing, see how I'm zooming out here? See how I'm creating this really clean area to cut? So the silhouette's going to make this beautiful shape for me out of Mylar. I think it's 3 millimeters. I think this one is really good. No messy lines. This one is really good. I'm going to go all the way to the end. I know going up it's fine. So now we can go work on this side. Is a little messy, especially right here, right? So we're going to zoom in so we don't have to redraw it by erasing. So we'll just zoom in like this and zoom in further, and now I can get rid of those individual pixels. And you see they just doesn't belong. There we go. So that, see how clean that is. Then we'll come over here, do the same thing. Smaller you go, you can just pretty much annihilate individual pixels. Still 16 concurrent viewers at 10:30, at 10:28. That's amazing. Thank you everybody for watching. Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Just showing you some of the inside techniques of professional airbrush artists. Here, I think, well, I'm going to go back there. I'm just going to look for any messiness here. Oh, there it is. We got that. Get rid of this. Get rid of that. Whoop. Control Z. Okay. See, these little ghostly lines will show up. The magic, yes, Dwayne. Just looking for, see that? You think you're done, but then you look and you're like, see, if I didn't do that and then I went to cut it, it would be a world of hurt. It wouldn't cut it correctly. You would have a jagged stencil. Maybe you would have to cut it with a razor blade, and that's not fun. And we'll just clean this up right here. And zoom in even smaller, and now we can attack individual little pixels, not pixies, pixels. Although that's a great band, the Pixies. Anyone out there like the band, the Pixies? Oh, we got to get out of the eraser mode. Come back in. And Michael says, would it have to have, would it be good to have jagged edges around the hair? No, not really. I'll tell you why. Because the jagged edges you can do later, but you want something that's a real clean cut. So when you do have that, Michael, you have these beautiful hard edges that you can work with. So yeah, I mean, you would think that it would be better to have the jagged edges in the hair, but that's something that, you'll see in the line drawing, and you could go ahead and do that later, That's what I found over the years, sir. See that crisscrossing? That's going to cause you some trouble. So we're just going to get rid of that. And you got little ghost areas right here. Get rid of that. See how this is kind of like that? That's going to give Silhouette Cameo 4 a problem. So I'm just going to erase it. And then I'm just going to reconnect. and change this to 2.78. And oh, there we go. Get out of there. And then change this to 2.78. Let's see, guys. There we go. And you see, you can get rid of your mistakes. And now I'm pretty sure this is a clean stencil. So what we'll do is we'll blow up and we'll just look at all the edges. Here it looks like I could reinforce this. Make this darker. There we go. And then it looks like there's something. Nope, we're good here. Look how nice and clean this is. So this is pretty perfect in the way that we cut this out. And I'm going to leave the border on there. And now what we're going to do is first we want to go ahead and save this as a critter file again. So I'm going to go File, Save As, and I'm going to look for the critter file and put it as a KRA. You don't want to lose that. So it is Critter Spring KRA, and save that as my critter file. So that's a tricky part, right? And you'll know when you see it. So that's a tricky part. Now I want to save it as a JPEG. So I'm going to go File, Save As. So I'm going to save this as a JPEG. And then we're going to call this Silhouette. No, this is Dress Only. And now we're going to go hit Save, and it's in where we want it in the folder. And there we go. Now, just to make sure, I'm going to go ahead and open, let's see, we'll go to Pictures, go to Khatia. Khatia Spring. Okay. So now we save this again as our critter file, so we don't lose that accidentally. And now here we are. So now we have that saved. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at so let's do just her face and neck, kind of like her skin only, right? We can do face then neck, but let's do just the neck and the face, her face together. So let's do that, everybody. So once again, that's our dress only stencil. We're happy about it. We're going to put that below our line drawing. So we have dress only, silhouette, border, line drawing. Going to turn our line drawing on, lock dress only, unlock line drawing for the time being, and turn off our picture. So there's our line drawing. It has a lot of detail, right? We're always going to be using that when we put the line drawing on our surface. So now what we want to do is we want to right click it, and we're going to hit duplicate. Great. And now we're going to lock and turn up the eyeball of both the dress only and the line drawing. So everything's locked but this. We're going to rename this, and we're just going to call it Flesh. Okay. And that's our new stencil. And then we have this here. And now what we can do is get rid of everything that's not there. Let me just go get something to drink real quick. I think apple juice. Thank you, everybody. Got my apple juice. I'm back. And let's see. Would you guys like to see digital art and also how digital art helps the workflow of painting? Would you guys like to see that in future live streams? Okay, so we got to get rid of everything that's not flesh here. So we're going to go back to our eraser and we're going to zoom out, make our brush bigger. And now let's go ahead and get rid of everything that's not skin. Oh, Bobby says sure, so that's good. So that's a yes right there, one yes. And if you're watching this on record, oh, Colette says yes. And if you're watching this on record, definitely say something in the comments, okay? If you're not watching it live. Remember before we were doing the dress only, we didn't want the cast shadow. Now we want the cast shadow because it's not part of the dress, it's part of the skin. So, and so we're getting rid of everything that is not her skin. Now notice, I'll turn off this. Notice that when I go like this, I'm not erasing the border because the border's on a separate layer. See, I can turn the border off, turn it back on. It's on a separate layer. And Dwayne says, I think this kind of content is mostly overlooked and very much needed, especially for those new to airbrushing. Thanks, Dwayne. I think so too. And so, yeah, I'm definitely going to do it, Dwayne. I think it's a good idea. Just to keep people inspired, you know? That's something we have to do. And I'm not going too close because I'm going to get, you know, fine-tuned later, but this is how I just get the large shapes. Make sure that all of this area is out of the way. And remember, I have a line drawing that has all the details. I don't have to worry about that, right? You know? And Dwayne says he wished this kind of stuff was around 40 years ago when you started. Yeah. Nobody was giving out information back then, huh, sir? Get rid of this. Okay, so now we're going to zoom in and we'll get rid of everything that is not the contours. And just to zoom out to see where we are, this is called the flesh. And so it's all the flesh tones and everything. And this way we can put that stencil on and not worrying about messing up her dress. We can work on the dress and cover her, not worry about the messing up her flesh. So it's really important. These things are so important. This is what the pros do. So a lot of people will say, hey, that's cheating. That's what amateurs say. It's all about doing the work fast and getting it done and streamlining the process. So it's not cheating. Twain says I might disappear for giving out this kind of info back in the day. Yes, that's for sure. Yeah, it was definitely that magic stuff. So when I was in art school, and I went to some pretty heavy hitting art schools, let me tell you, in New York City, and airbrushing was frowned upon, so was acrylic and everything like that. But, you know, when you get older, you know, you realize that, you know, a lot of that is just dogma, right? And we have to fight against that. I'll put this back on so we can see. Oh, and Miss Colette says, Michael, I had that name on Airbrush forums since 2017. no idea how it got to us on YouTube. And so, yeah, Mr. Michael said he didn't recognize that name for Colette. So we're going to keep, well, no, we're not going to keep that. We're going to get rid of, well, we'll keep some of the cast shadow. Okay. We have some line drawing to do here. Look at that. We have our sternocleidomastoid here, the trapezius. But that's information we don't need. We just need the big shapes. Okay, so here's the dilemma right here. What part do I go in? This is a very dark color. The stencils are really more for blocking in for me, so it really doesn't matter either way. But I would say, you know, just get rid of everything that's not a lighter flesh color. The really dark areas I'll worry about. Okay. So we're still going to be in eraser mode for a little bit. And this is a lighter area, so we'll rethink that. This will kind of rethink this. Wow, so YouTube actually changed the name. That's interesting. So what I can do is actually go ahead and darken my reference image or lighten it to see where the lighter flesh would actually go away. Unfortunately, let's go back to Airbrush here. There we go. Now you can see my line got a little squiggly there. Erase, and then come back. Now you're not going to be as fast as me. Like I said, I've been doing it several times a week since 2019, you know, between my work, my commissions, and my students. But practice and you'll get faster. But it's not terribly difficult. Let's make that cleaner. Control Z. There we go. Nicer. All right, so let's see. So that's nicer. That makes more sense. We'll go on this side. And you see we got some cleaning up to do. And now we'll go back and draw that in. Still 16 at the 1046 mark. This is incredible. So you think it's the different content that's keeping people watching, guys? What do you think? So thank you for that, everybody. I'll have the line drawing here, so I'll be able to see that anyway. So we'll negate the cast shadow because it's part of the skin anyway. Already 103 views on this YouTube channel. I mean, on this video. That's incredible. Just clean this up. .78. Zoom out a little bit, and now you can see where I have to do my line. Just like so. And we'll do this line all the way down to here. Oh, and Mr. Michael says there's not not many people showing this kind of content. Thank you, sir. And Bobby says maybe most of us just like watching the Masters live. Ah, thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And Dwayne says he was going to say, Tim, he personally would do the outside of his line drawing for everything else. That's how I roll. That's a good way too, my friend. And I'm going to change this and let's erase this. See, you got to make sure that everything is, you can't have the messiness because you're just going to be messing up your stencil, right? Let me just connect that. So far, this has been an easy one. You see right here, we got some work to do. So we'll go to eraser mode, make it a little bigger, do some cleanup here, kind of connect this area. Bobby says he did one a while back on his channel. Maybe do another one as well. Definitely, my friend. Kind of clean that up. And now go back. E 2.78. Whoa. Make sure I have the right here. Right brush size. See, I just made a mistake there. Easily fixed. Come right down. And now I'll do the eraser, but I think all the lines are really solid here. So now we have to do, nope, it's just a flesh, remember. So we're just doing the bordering of the flesh. Really nice. See here? See this right here, this little loop? We can paint that in later. So I'll just come here. And that's a little crazy there. Oh, listen to that. He thinks that Roy should do a critter video. Oh, yeah, because he loves critter. And Michael says, Dwayne, how do you hold the saw blade inside or outside the line? That's funny. Let's see. Get out of the eraser mode. Bring this down nice and smooth. That still bothers me a little bit right here. So we'll smooth this out. So like I said, we're making our own stencils. And when we go further into this into this into this painting, we're going to see a lot. So we're going to go back to our eraser. Like I said, we have the line drawing for these cast shadows. And we'll zoom in. Actually, let's look for some erasing opportunities. Right here, we got some erasing to do. Dwayne says, yep, he tends to like to use the stencils for the outside of the lines, give him space to blend lines better. Oh, cool. Okay, that's a good way as well. Okay, now we have the hair, which is interesting. We're going to draw that in. Okay, go back to 2.78. $112 views already. Oh, okay, very cool. Yeah, I think I'm doing exactly what you're saying, sir. And you know, the stencils, as you know, Mr. Dwayne, they're just a guide. That's just a lay-in, right? That's all it is. The hard work is later. Especially like right here, when we paint in the hair later, we're gonna have to, you know, really work at a lot of this stuff. This is going to be in a line drawing, so you don't need to have a stencil for it. Just make sure that these connect. See that jaggedness? That's going to just cause some problems. So we'll just get rid of this and draw that in. It's mostly to help you keep from overspraying, yes, and right, and keeping everything clean as you're working. Sequential masking, right, guys? So I think we have a really clean stencil so far, but when we turn off the reference, you'll see how much work we have to do or not do. So that looks pretty clean. Now I'm going to go into eraser mode and we're going to get rid of all the little doodads and whatnot. So with this, you know, because we only have 4 more minutes, so what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to do the hair only. I'll do the eyes, nose, and mouth only. And that's about it. And then I'm done. And then I'm ready to transfer my drawing onto the surface and then go ahead and use the stencils to block it in. And true, it's keeps from overspraying. It's a good block in. If you ever lose your original design, you can always come in with these stencils that we're making and reinforce the line drawing. So So do the work now so you don't have to do the work later. And the work now is far easier if you're trying to fix this in the Cameo 4 software or the Cricut software. That's a lot more work and it's going to look not nearly as good as you do all the heavy lifting now. Just clean that up. 2.78. We'll go ahead and connect this correctly. And go back to our eraser. And just clean this up. All these little things that look like nothing are going to show up. And the Cameo 4, the Cricut's going to want to cut it. So tonight we did the dress only, the silhouette, the flesh, and then we'll do the face only, then we'll do the eyes, nose, and mouth. We'll do her chest only, you know. And Dwayne says, great stuff, Tim. I'm going to have to check out Critter now, just out of curiosity. You'll love it. You can even do animation on it. I mean, it's really great. The only thing is you can't print from it. That's the only thing. But everything else, I think gives everything a run for the money, you know. And the fact that it's free and they update all the time. Oh, thank you, Bobby. Bobby says, great stream. I appreciate that. Look at that. After almost 11 o'clock and we have 14 concurrent viewers. That's amazing. This was a very successful live stream. Thank you so much, Mr. Bobby, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. And thank you so much, Mr. Michael, for the super chat. I appreciate you so much. We're going to give you, we have 1 more minute. And let's see what we have here. Okay, so you see now we have the flesh only. And you see if we turn that on and turn that off. So I can work on her face, have everything else covered. And I don't have to worry about, as Mr. Dwayne said, get overspray, you know, on her dress, on the background. I have the silhouette. I can cover her up and do some really interesting techniques. Thank you so much. Bobby says, great feed. I appreciate that. So we're at 11 o'clock, my friends. Thank you so much. I will talk to you next week. We're going to go ahead and start the block in next week. Remember, critter.org. And if you have any questions, and you can always donate to those guys. They're doing great stuff over there. Take care, everybody, and thank you so much for your support. And all the new people, hit the like button and subscribe. That would be great. Thank you, Michael, for the super chat today. I appreciate you, sir. Have a great week, everybody.